Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Milan Khadardumili, and today I will be addressing the practical dimensions of philosophy. So let's begin the talk. To love only what happens, what was distant, no greater harmony. This was said by Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor of Rome, in his book Meditations. But today I'm not here to talk about Marcus's outstanding achievements, nor his book. I actually want you to focus on the very first part of the quote. To love only what happens. As human, we have this capability of making things up just so perfect. But in real life, this isn't actually the case. Things can go wrong for you. Your car might not show up for your big date. The traffic could stop you from a big opportunity, even a big raise. And your friends, your family, your colleagues could fail you and disappoint you at some point. Even the very called basic human being needs could be deprived from you. And even sometimes the weather could not be in your favor. And to that I say, things happen. As human beings, we are just, we like to things happen for a certain expectations that we stand for. But in real life, this isn't actually the case. By simply thinking in life that there are things inevitable. In life, there are things in your control and there are things outside of your control. But we learn then when things go outside of our control or our expectation, it somehow harms us, creates a negative aura around us. How many times you have gotten moody, sad, angry over things that you have no control over? Why would you let this actually affect you? And to that Epictetus said, for nothing outside my reasoned choice can hinder or harm it. My reasoned choice alone can do this to itself. You've heard something wrong about yourself. So what? People gonna talk. You did your best at leading a group of people, organizing an event. You worked so hard, and yet they underestimate and undervalue your work. So what? People do this sometimes. And even the weather could be not in your favor. And sometimes technical issues happen. So what? If it's not in your control, why are you so worrying about it and let it to affect you? To that, it will affect your daily life productivity and efficiency in work. I'm saying in today's life, but after all, it will affect your career, your success, and your goals. Because we might not have much control over the thing that happened to us, we have much control over how it affects us, how we perceive things around us, and how it affects our daily life productivity. This was actually the first practice of the philosophy. To simply think that is it in your control to do something about it or it is not. It is as simple as it is. This goes over everything, not only your relationship and partnerships, but also your job, your career, literally everything. Just think, is it in your control to do something about it or it is not? The second practice is memento mori, amor fati. Well, the second practice, after I only translate these words, simply you will understand it without me even explaining it. Memento mori stands for remember death that can happen at any moment. Just live with the fact you are a walking dead person. Do you want to live with a legacy, with good relationships, with a good reputation and career? So live up to that fact. The fact that you are dying have a big impact on your decision. And the fact of memento mori kills procrastination. For that, memento mori can make you make a big decision in your life. Just wake up every day and think, if you are about to die today, do you want to do what you are about to do today? Well, luckily today the answer for me was yes. But sometimes it's a no. When it's a no in a row, it is time to make a change. Amor fati stands for love of fate. Love your fate, no matter what happens. Sometimes people simply look just at the outcomes, the success, the goals, the outcome of the process. But actually what matters the most is the process, the journey, the amount of amazing people you meet along the journey. So to that I say just amor fati. No matter how things go wrong and not be in your values or expectation, what you wanted, just amor fati. The third practice is my favorite. This practice is to expect the worst can happen. In the very beginning, I said humans have this capability to make things up just so perfect. So why we don't make the worst out of the things? Why everything should be perfect? Why we don't think that everything can go wrong? Why we don't expect the worst of people? Because simply, this is actually a fact. I will give you an example, and maybe it will give you a clue how to use this practice and how it works for me. The day we got elected to be TEDx speakers at the American University of Kurdistan, I'm sure every speaker were excited. Some of us must have felt special or superior to their peers. And maybe they expected everything will go right. But this actually isn't the case. What if you got ill and then you couldn't come? What if TEDx was actually postponed to X date? Yes, I used X on purpose. But what if you had an emergency and you couldn't show up on that date? For me, I like to take it even more far. I even imagined the fact that in the day of the event, they can call me and tell me your talk is canceled. Why not? They can do this. But let's get into the fact. Wouldn't this actually break you? Like not literally break you, like break your spirit, break your motive and interest in things. For some people, this could be breaking in a day. For some people, it's a week. But for some people, it's a whole year. See, we are thinking this is killing your effectivity and productivity in your daily life situations. So why do we let this to get into us and to affect us? Because as humans, it depends on your daily life situations of how productive you are. These are the three practices. The practices are expecting the worst can happen, memento mori, amor fati, and what is in your control, what is not in your control. I also mentioned Marcus and Epictetus in the very same talk. Well, it is not surprising, and it's no coincidence at all that this topic is actually about the philosophy called Stoicism. For the people here today, I would like to ask you this question. How many of you, please raise your hand, heard of Stoicism? Okay, I see a big amount of hands, that's good. But the real question is, do you use this practice? Again, if you use it, please raise your hand. The amount of hands are decreasing actually, and I don't like this to be honest, but maybe this is your sign to start using it because it will help you in your daily life situations. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy. It's more of a coping mechanism to everyday life situation. It is actually an art of living that was produced by and thought and studied and learned by a lot of amount of leaders along the world back in the days and in today. It's only called modern Stoicism with the same concept. For today, I will also want to tell you that philosophy is no longer an academic discipline. It's actually practicable. You can practice it and get benefits from it. It is also worth mentioning that Stoicism today is used in medicine, in cognitive behavioral therapy, where you can replace the negative thoughts with more productive ones. As I said, make you a more productive and efficient person in your daily life situations. So, by now, I think we understand that philosophy can be practicable and be used in medicine, and it actually can help you in your daily life situation. This will bring us to the question of how do we internalize all this knowledge. There are a lot of practices that you can practice to help your everyday life situation. As you are a living person, every day you have the chance to practice Stoicism with every situation by only learning about the practices and try to admit it into your own life. So every day you have the chance to practice Stoicism and every day you have the chance to fail at it. But remember, don't let that trick you. I just mentioned memento mori. So you are a living dead person. If you already like the idea or have a concept of it, just try to use it. Even you can start today or tomorrow. After all, we might not have some control over the thing happened to us, but we do much have control how it affects us. And the world will seem colorless until we find our own sun, which is inside. So don't bother looking somewhere else. It is up to you, your mentality, how you perceive things, how you color them and prioritize them. What's worth your energy to spend your time on it? It all depends on you. For my perspective, I think that my mental clarity is my top priority, and Stoicism has helped me through the way. Thank you so much.